In lesson 2.1, we are going to learn how to understand place value. So you're going to need your whiteboard marker and eraser, and your math journal. So if you don't have those things with you, go ahead and pause the video and start it when you're ready. On your whiteboard, I want you to figure out the volume of these two figures. Remember, if you have length and width and height, you are going to use the first formula to figure out how much something will hold. If you have the area of the base, then you just multiply that by the height. So number 1 and number 2. 5 unit cubes by 2 unit cubes by 3 unit cubes. And don't forget the label. Number 2. The base area is 20 square units and the height is 4. So you're going to use this formula boxed in green. Go ahead and write down your answers and pause the video. All right, for number 1, I take 5 times 2 times 3. 5 times 2 is 10 times 3 is 30 units cubed. Number 2, a base area of 20 square units and a height of 4. Base times height, 20 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Add your 0. Units cubed. All right, 2 more volume questions. Again, there are your formulas up at the top. 3 inches by 4 inches by 5 inches. And number 2, a base area of 25 square inches and a height of 5. Go ahead and solve those on your whiteboard. All right, number 1 is 3 times 4 times 5. 3 times 4 is 12, and you need to know those 12s multiplied by each number up to 12. 12 times 5 is 60 inches cubed. We use squared if we're figuring out just the flat surface. And number 2, a base of 25 and a height of 5. 25 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry your 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. 125 inches cubed. All right, we're actually going to move into our journal on page 37. Journal page 37. Number 1 says, what is the value of the 2 in the following numbers? So really just kind of a warm-up right now. Go ahead in your math journal. The value of the 2 is 2. What's the value of 2 in 23? You just heard me say it, 23. The value is 20. What is the value of 2 in 230? You can hear me say it when I read the number. 230. That value is 200. What is the value of the 2 in 2,300? 2,000. You can hear me emphasizing it. In 23,000, what is the value of the 2? 23,000 is 20,000. Go ahead and do number 2 on your own. Pause the video and complete number 2. Remember to do this with me. The value of the 6 in 65,000 is 60,000. The value of the 6 in 6,500 is 6,000. The value of the 6 in 650 is 600. The value of the 6 in 65 is 60. And the value of the 6. Notice this got 10 times greater as we moved and got into a place value to the left. 10 times greater. This one is 1/10. In other words, here we added a 0, here we added another 0, added a 0, from here to here add a 0, from here to here add a 0, from here to here add a 0. From here we took off a 0. From here to here we took off a 0. From here to here we took off a 0. From here to here we took off a 0, which is 1/10. Let me just show you something real quick. Let me go. So here, this is what I was just showing you. When you move from the 1s to the 10s, it gets 10 times greater. 10s to hundreds, 10 times greater. Hundreds to thousands, 10 times greater. The reverse is true. This gets 10 times smaller as 1/10 of the size. When you go from hundreds to tens, it's 10 times smaller, or you divide by 10, or 1/10 of it. All right, let's continue on. One of the things that you may see is the word standard notation. Standard notation is where you're just writing numbers. If you see expanded form, you can expand it in 4 different ways. You can write out 65,582 is the same thing as 6 10,000s, 5,000s, 500s, 8 10s, and 2 1s. It can also be written like this. There is 6 in the 10,000s place, 5 times 1,000, or 5 in the thousands place, 5 times 100, which is 500, or 5 in the hundreds place, 8 times 10, or 8 in the tens place, and 2 1s. Or you can write it by the value of each place value, or write it as a multiplication problem. 6 times 1,000 would be 60,000. 5 times 1,000, 5,000. So they can be written many different ways, but that's called expanded form. Let's continue on with number 3 on journal page 37. Write these numbers in expanded form. Let's try writing them 2 different ways. You have lines, but I do not. So I'm going to go ahead and write it. Let's write it as a multiplication problem. So let's take the 2. 2 times, and what place value is it in? The millions. Plus, let's take the 3. 3 times, and what place value is it in? The 100,000s. Plus, let's take the 8. 8 times, that's in the 10,000s place. Plus, let's take the 7. 7 times, and what place value is that in? The thousands. Plus the 9, which is 9 times 100, or 900. Plus the 2, and the 2 is in the 10s, so 2 times 10 is 20. And then lastly, plus 6. Ooh, if you find I'm going too fast, go ahead and stop at any point in time by pausing your video. All right, so that's one way. Let's do one more way for B here. Let's go ahead and write this as the value of each. So the value of the 9 is 90. This number is read. First of all, let me read this number. This number is read 92,409,224. So let's go ahead and say the 9 is worth 90 million, plus the value of the 2, which is 2 million, plus the value of the 4, 400,000, plus the value of the 0, so we just leave that off, eliminate that, don't even write it. The value of the 9 is 9,000, plus the value of the 2, which is 200, plus the value of the 2 in the tens place, which is 20, and lastly, the value of the 4, which is 4. Whew. We only had to do 2 of those. That's plenty. Now let's look at it in reverse in number 3. Oops, sorry, we just did that one. Going on to number 4. Write these numbers in standard notation. So we are just doing the reverse of what we did. We used expanded form. Now we're going to just write it in numerals. So I know this has 100,000. I know it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots. If it helps, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 in the 100,000s. 5 in the 10,000s. A 0 in the thousands. A 3 in the hundreds. A 6 in the tens. And 2 ones. So that number in standard notation is 450,362. And let's just do C, skip B for now. 10,000s. If it helps, this is what a number in the 10,000s looks like. We're going to put a 3 in the 10,000s, a 2 in the thousands, a 5 in the hundreds, a 7 in the tens, and 9 ones. So that number in standard notation is 32,579. Let's move on to page 38. Page 38. We'll just do the first couple of them. We'll do A, C, and E. You're going to write the value of the 4 in each number. So A says 348,621. The value of the 4 is 40,000. What is the value of the number in 624,876,712? The 4 is worth 4 million. I just counted up the number of places after the 4. That's how many zeros I knew how to put it. How many to put in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's the value of the 4 in 463,295? It's worth 400,000. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places after the 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. Look at number 7. Write the value of the identified digit, then fill in the blank with 10 times or 1/10 of. So let's start with the value of the 7 in 732. The value is 700. Now, when we move that 7 to the thousands place, the value of the 7 becomes 7,000. The value in 732 is blank. The value of the 7 in 7,328. So this number is 1/10 of this. It has 1 less 0, so it is 1/10. Think of it as dividing or taking off 1 0. Dividing it by 10 removes a 0. B, what is the value of the 4 in 32,940? The value of the 4 is 40, and the value of the 4 in 32,904 is 4. So the value of the 4 in 32,940 is blank the value of 4 in 32,904. So we're comparing this number and how much larger it is than the 4. It is 10 times. So we're either going to say it's 10 times greater when compared, or it's 1/10. 1/10 of. So if it gets smaller, we're going to take 1/10 of it. Okay? Or okay, let's continue with C. What is the value of the 2 in 30,275? The value of the 2 is 200. And the value of the 2 in 18,921 is 20. So the value of 2 in 30,275 is blank the value of the 2 in 18,921. So compare this number to this number. Is it 10 times greater? Does it have one more zero? Or does it have one less zero and it's 1/10 of 20? It is larger, so it is 10 times. And D, what is the value of the 1 in 90,106? The value of the 1 is 100. In 21,000, the 1 is worth 1,000. So the value of the 1 in 90,106, this compared to this, it is 1/10 of. 1/10 of. So this number gets bigger. So this number compared to the 1,000 is 1/10 of. All right, we're going to stop there for today.